So, oh, you guys, it has been crazy for the Teen Mom people, Maci Bookout, Ryan Edwards, Larry, Mackenzie, all of them. It's been a lot going on here lately. Forget, y'all, I'm in a new like setup back here, and one thing I realized is it's really shaky. So if I move around a lot, like it shakes a lot. I'm gonna get Sean to kind of deal with that. But anyways, my new backdrop should be here Friday. Also, I am doing a collaboration with Sherelle's World. That's this Friday at 2 p.m. Central Time. I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know what it is for any other times, zones, because I don't know. I have to figure out who is ahead and who's behind. But 2 p.m. Friday, I'm going to be on Sherelle's World, and we're going to be talking about Mama June in the season premiere. So if you watch Mama June, make sure you catch that. It's going to be a good one. So I'm going to read the article that's on the Ashley, and then we'll discuss it. I want to get y'all's comments as well, because I feel like y'all have some. I know I do. Okay, so we know that the lady that works for the Ashley Reality Roundup, she has a lot of sources. I think she literally has someone that works on production, in production. And she gets a lot of her information before anything breaks. A lot of the time. Like a lot of the time, we hear it first from the Ashley. I've always trusted the Ashley Reality Roundup. I've never known for her information to be wrong. So she posted an article a couple hours ago, and it is titled Exclusive. Maci Bookout gets Ryan, Mackenzie, and Edward's family fired from Teen Mom OG. Now, I had uploaded a video, I think it was my Kiefer video maybe, that I uploaded about Kiefer being released from jail, and someone commented on it and said, you need to do a video on Maci Bookout getting the Edwards family fired. That story just broke. You need to do a video really quick. And I was like, what? So whoever it was that left that comment, thank you so much, because you are the way I found out about that, which I always check the Ashley. I check the Ashley a couple times a day just to find out what's been going on. So I went to the Ashley and was like, holy crap, I got to go live about this, or I got to do a video and then go live tonight. Because when stuff like this happens, I enjoy sitting down and making the video, but what I enjoy even more is talking to you guys about it. So, hey, Willow. So the article reads, Maci Bookout just made a big move regarding the upcoming season of Teen Mom OG. A season that will not include Ryan, Mackenzie, Larry, or Jen Edwards. Thank you, Fairy Duster, for the super chat. Snack time for the Queen Bee. Oh, thank you, Queen Bee. I like that. Is that what they call Beyonce? Probably. It says the Ashley's production source tells her that Macy's ex, Ryan, has been let go from the MTV reality series, along with his wife, Mackenzie, and his parents, Jen and Larry. So what happened was Ryan, Mackenzie, and Jen and Larry were all on a conference call with production on Tuesday. What's today? Wednesday? So this happened yesterday. And production informed them that they will not be on the show anymore moving forward. The Edwards were informed that Macy's reps wanted to go in a different direction and showcase all of her abilities. Macy went to production and explained that she wanted her story to cover all parts of her life and no longer focus on Ryan and his family. I think that I could understand that. You know, these girls get a lot of hate. Like, I can think of two in particular. Macy. Thank you, Chelsea Galloway, for the super sticker. Thank you. Chelsea and Macy have always got a lot of people commenting saying, why do they only talk about Ryan and Adam? Why do they always talk about Ryan and Adam? And they're kind of pushed to, you know. I said that in my other video, but I'm sure for them, it's like, I'm getting heat for this. Like, you guys want me to go on camera and talk about him, but then the followers, the fans, they don't understand why we constantly talk about them. So for them, it's like, thank goodness, you know. Yes, they enable him, but I think he's an only child. That has to be really hard. Yeah. Okay. If you have a question, After I read the article, there's two articles I want to read. I want to read this one and then the Sun, because Larry spoke out to the Sun again, like he does. And then I'm going to kind of hang out with you guys, read y'all's comments, questions, and just kind of talk about this with you guys. It says, the source notes that MTV technically was not firing Ryan and his family, but they are just being set aside right now. So maybe like in the future, if something happens, they could pull them back in and film. But Ryan and Larry was like, that's a no-go for us. That if you guys are not coming back to film us now for us to be on the season like we normally are, we're not just going to be at your beck and call, basically. So like if that's your plan, and that's kind of what I feel like, why I feel like they were not firing them. They were just saying, look, we're not going to film y'all next season unless something big happens. You know, like Ryan get arrested or something like that, then we will. But other than that, we're not really doing this. They have done this before. I do believe you're right. I think this has happened before. So while I think this is probably what is going on, I feel like we may still end up seeing them. I feel like Larry and Ryan probably got their feelings hurt, and they was probably like, if y'all don't want to do it the right way, the way we're used to, where you guys film them, film us, then we're not going to do it. But I don't think Ryan works. I could be wrong. I don't think Mackenzie works. I think they probably, this money is probably kind of maybe what keeps them afloat. So, they may say, okay, look, whenever you can film us, but please keep paying us. Says the news of the Edwards family's exit comes on the heels of Macy calling out Ryan's wife Mackenzie on Twitter for comments she made on the show this season, as well as for not taking the opportunity to speak to her face-to-face at the Teen Mom OG Season 9 reunion. And if you watch this week's Teen Mom, they actually gave us a little snippet of what's coming on the reunion. We actually got to see, you see Jen and Larry on the couch on this side, and then you see Ryan and Mackenzie on the couch over here, and Larry's like leaned up looking at Ryan like, and Ryan's like, what did he say? Not Ryan, Taylor. I'm sorry, Taylor. Taylor says, Ryan ain't never been there for Bentley. He ain't never been no dad to Bentley. Something to that effect. And it looks like Larry goes to get up, and then Taylor shoots up, and Macy grabs him and says, Taylor, and then it cuts off. Remember when Mac refused to film? I still like her. Mac who? Can't stand either. That comment went away. Let me go look at that. Terry Lynn, $14.99. Thank you so much. Remember when Mac refused to film? I'm still like Mac who? Can't stand either. And how they put Macy down when she's always been a real parent, Team Macy. I agree. I feel like it doesn't make sense to me. It does not make sense to me how they can put her down. It's like when your son has been the worst parent possible that he could be, and Macy has raised Bentley to be a good little guy too. Like, he makes good grades, he goes to a private school, he's in all these sports where he's really good at them. That's Macy's doing. Like, that's not y'all. Like, at least be thankful for that. Even if you can't stand Macy, at least be like, I'm thankful that I did not end up with a baby mom that wasn't a great mom. It says, the Ashley exclusively told you last month that Mackenzie and Ryan refused to film a segment on the stage with Macy and her husband Taylor. However, Ryan's parents, Jen and Larry, did film with Macy and Taylor, during which things become explosive between the two couples. On Wednesday, Larry told The Sun that the family had been fired from Teen Mom OG, though he did not confirm if the family included Ryan and Mackenzie. He said, we, the family, have been let go of from the show by the network. It's unbelievable. Larry did not provide a reason for why the Edwards family was getting the boot. However, he admitted Macy was so mad at him for the comments he made at the reunion. We got in so much trouble, he said. While the Edwards will no longer be a part of Teen Mom OG cast, the Ashley's production sources tell her that they will make an appearance at the beginning of next season. The Edwards filmed for the first episodes of the next season, talking about what happened at the reunion. So this is what happened. Okay, so at the reunion, they were wrapping up filming for the end of this season, right? And normally, what would happen, they would end filming for a couple months, then pick back up. I don't know exactly how many months they go, but they pick back up, start filming. Well, what happened this season with how things played out at the reunion, rather than ending filming, they actually hung out with Ryan and the Edwards bunch and filmed their reaction to what happened. And they probably done the same for Macy and Taylor. They probably, sent cameras back to their house the days following and talked to them and had them talk about the reunion. And that's where next season will start for Ryan and Mackenzie and Macy and Taylor and Larry and Jen. It's going to start with them, coming out of what happened with the reunion. So I'm going to look up the sun really quick. I wish I would have done that already. And then we will get into the comments. It says, goodbye, Ryan. Teen mom Maci Bookout got ex Ryan Edwards and his family fired from MTV show after explosive reunion fight. Ryan's dad, Larry, exclusively told The Sun that he and his wife, Jen, had been fired from Teen Mom OG after his reunion show fight with Maci Bookout's husband, Taylor McKinney. Now, remember, this is The Sun's, them talking to Larry. The Ashley has someone on production, so their stories are a little bit different. The Sun says that this firing come after the reunion and are because of what happened at the reunion, but the Ashley is saying that, I guess probably after what happened at the reunion, that Macy is like refusing. She's like, I'm not doing this no more. I'm not. Honestly, when you really think about it, it's like Macy carried the baby, took care of the baby with no help from Ryan, has to get bashed by Ryan and his family and his wife or whatever on national television. And then she is the one that's putting money in their pockets, basically. Because if it wasn't for Macy being on the show, then they wouldn't get the opportunity to be on the show. So it's kind of like, holy crap, Is the live on? I can't see her. I am live, Cece. Candy, let Cece know that I'm live. Let Cece know to go out and come back in. If she goes out and comes back in, it should pick up for her. It says Ryan and his wife Mackenzie have also been let go from the MTV series. A source told the Ashley Reality Roundup that Ryan and Mackenzie, as well as Jen and Larry, were all on a call with production on Tuesday, informing them that they will not be on the show going forward. And it talks again about Macy's rep, saying that Macy wanted to go in a different direction. The insider claimed returning in the future is an option, but they were just being set aside right now. The source continued to claim that Larry and Ryan, am I froze for anyone else? The insider told them that Larry and Ryan told them not to waste their time coming back and to film in the future if they were serious about this, about what their plans were for right now. The Sun was the first to report on the firings. As Larry previously said, we the family have been let go of, not frozen. We the family have been let go from the show by the network. It's unbelievable. Keeping up with KP. Thank you for the $5. Time will only tell if they filmed them letting go like they did with Farrah. I bet they do. You know MTV is not going to pass up the moment to film anything that they think will be good for ratings. And guaranteed they filmed that call. Probably what happened is they, just like how the producers was like on a call with Janelle at one time and Farrah, I believe. That's probably, they filmed probably from wherever they were on the call. Maybe they had cameras at Jen and Larry's. I don't know. But yeah, we're definitely going to get to see it. In my opinion, I think so. All right, let's see if there's anything else that we can add to this. MTV did not immediately respond to the Sun's request for comment. All right. Oh, the son has pictures of what happened at the reunion, so you guys have to check that out. Yeah, it shows, it looks like Jen pulling Larry down and Macy pulling Taylor down. I wish I would have went live on the computer because then I could show you guys. But anyways, so now I'm going to get back to the comments and we're going to talk about this. Because you guys know I'm team Macy all day, all the way. Chelsea Galloway, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I have 3 babies, so I have to go, but I love your channel. Thank you for all that you do. Oh, thank you, Chelsea. I understand completely. I completely understand. You can watch it on the playback. You know, first I want to say this. I am not an expert on addiction. This is just my opinion on addiction and addicts and the effects of it. I have family members. Addiction does run in my family. Several of my family members are recovering addicts. Some still active addicts, you know, and it's hard to deal with it. Very hard to deal with it. So, you know, if you're watching this and you hear me say something about addicts, you know, and you think maybe I'm being a little too hard, like, you can let me know in the comment section. I do want to say addiction, I've always believed that addiction is absolutely a disease. I know people that don't think that. I know people that's like, it's not a disease. No, it's not. Like, you're just making excuses for them. But I actually know of a woman that was going to the doctor for pain that she had, like legitimate pain, and her doctor put her on pain medicine and she became addicted to it. Beautiful Me, yes, Beautiful Me. YouTube, they do take like 40% of the super chat money. If you would like to PayPal, you absolutely can do that. My mods do have my PayPal information. I don't have it on here, but my mods have it and they'll post it in just a little bit. Candy just posted it. So I've always believed that addiction was a disease. Like I said, I knew this lady. She was an older lady and she was going to the doctor because she had pain and he gave her hydrocodone, never telling her how addictive it was. She was on it for years and there was never like, this could happen to you. And before she knew it, you know, she wanted to stop taking the medicine, but she couldn't, and she was addicted to the medication. Aussie Chick says, if they aren't in Bentley's life, then they don't need to be on the show. It's probably better for Ryan anyway, considering Macy is his trigger. I agree, you know, and actually I was talking to someone earlier, and they said maybe Bentley's a trigger, and this person has a family member, you know, as well, so kind of understand. I guess when you have family members that are addicts, you feel like you kind of understand it a little bit better, but still, I'm no expert on it, you know, and I will never claim to be. Terry Lynn says, Ryan still has a chance. He needs to chase his son. Bentley deserves to be chased. Wished my dad had chased me. Ryan, yeah, chase him while you can. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So I do believe that, now I know people too, that when they were in high school, you know, they started out smoking weed and they would go off on the weekends and it went from smoking weed at a party to smoking weed with their buddies hanging out after school. Then it went to being at a party with their buddies smoking weed and their buddies was like, hey, here's some pills. And they started popping pills and it was that kind of thing. I know people that have become addicts from just wanting to get high, so they started taking and doing these things. And I know people that become addicts because they were given pain medication at a doctor's office. I know both, but I've always believed that it was an addiction, and it's Ryan's mom is a trigger. I think everything is a trigger for him. See, that's one thing that there's this part of me that's like, okay, Ryan, I get it. You know, Macy is a trigger for him. So he's like, I can't talk to her because she's a trigger. But I'm like, I don't see you going to NA classes. I don't see you really trying to stay sober. I don't think that he is sober, and that's just my personal opinion. So I'm like, you can drink beer, which you're not supposed to. If you're a recovering addict, you're supposed to stay away from all mind-altering substances. So I feel like you're not doing everything that you can to remain sober. But the one thing that you're kind of holding on to is, I can't talk to Macy, she's a trigger. But it's like, what about all the other things that you're not supposed to be doing, you know? So I feel like he picks and chooses. Like, his dad's like, we're so sorry, Ryan. We're so sorry. He's got his family believing that they can never question him again, that they can never call him out again. Like, he has his family believing that they are just to coddle him. And for the times that they didn't, they've apologized for it. So it just is mind-blowing to me. I feel like Ryan is not only an addict, but he's a very manipulative addict as well. And I don't want to blame all this on just him being an addict, but I felt like Ryan was a crappy person to begin with. You know, I don't like to see people call addicts like junkies and stuff like that. I've never been that type of person to be like, oh, he's just a junkie. I feel like every addict can get better, you know, but they have to want it. They have to, you know, try to do it. And I also feel like addicts will not get better until they really want that. I literally know, like, people that's like, that have went to rehab time and time again, and they're like, I did not get better until I wanted to do it. But they only went to rehab because the judge made them or their parents made them. And it finally took that one time of them saying, I'm tired of this. I want to get better, you know. Sorry, I call my ex a crackhead. Well, I mean, if he was on crack, then I guess that's what he would be labeled, right? Willow? I mean, they need to take the 12 steps and go to rehab. Yeah, they absolutely. I feel like the whole family should be involved. And, like, here's the thing. Like, if Macy is your trigger, okay, so what are you going to do? Just never talk to Macy again? Never. And, you know, even from what Macy says, he really don't have to. Bentley has a phone. She's like, Bentley has a phone, and he does not call or text Bentley. So why? Why is he not calling or texting Bentley? So I feel like Ryan has manipulated the situation to make his wife and his parents feel like they're not allowed to question him or say anything to him, or it's a trigger, or, you know, he could relapse. Ryan won't care until he hits rock bottom, but his parents won't let him. They coddle him too much for that. Yeah, I agree. I know, TT, work is my trigger. Cleaning is my trigger. That's what I felt, Carrie. I felt like, okay, like Mama June, her triggers are being in Georgia, in the area where she could get drugs. Like, probably in the area that, in her mind, she's like, I was high the last few years in this area, and I know all these people there that I could get it. So that's one of the reasons that Mama June has not went back to Georgia. Is they're a trigger. Love your channel, pumped. I caught a live chat. Oh, thank you, Chris T. I'm pumped to have you here. So I'm like, would Ryan's hometown be a trigger for him? You know, in my personal opinion, and I have so many people comment on my videos that are about Ryan or Macy, and they're like, I'm a recovering addict, and he is not sober. He's an active addict right now. You know, I feel like he is as well. Brittany Dance, wait, recap, please. Okay, so the recap is that Ryan and Macy got Ryan and his entire family, Ryan, Mackenzie, Jen, and Larry, fired from the show. And it's because she is refusing to film, basically, if they keep Ryan and his family on the show, because she does not want Ryan's family being the focus of her family anymore. She basically said that she will walk away if they keep Ryan on the show, because if she's going to stay, she wants the show to focus more on her life outside of Ryan. I really think she just got tired of being the reason they're getting paid, and they're bashing her the whole time. You know, I think she's probably like, dang, y'all are on this show because of me, so I'm the reason you guys are getting money in your pockets to live off of, and then you're bashing me the whole time. If I was Macy, I would have done it, I don't know, a long time ago probably. I feel like this could be good for Bentley too, because right now, every time we see Bentley on camera, you know, they're having to talk about Ryan. You know, have you talked to your dad today? this is going on. Are you going to go over there? How are you feeling about your dad? But if they just focus on Macy's life, like their businesses, if they focus on like, you know, going on vacations, showing Bentley wrestling or motocross or something as a family as a whole without it always being Ryan, I think it would be way better for Bentley because he won't feel pressured to be on camera talking about his dad. You know? Plus, they don't support Bentley and his family. No, they don't. So if you watched this season, you actually saw a clip of if you watched this week's episode, you saw a clip of next week's episode. And it shows Ryan telling, it appears like he's telling Bentley that Bentley's been lied to. That's what it appears that he's telling Bentley. Like, well, you've been lied to a lot. And let me tell you something. If I was Macy and I watched my baby daddy tell my son that he's been lied to, I would probably drive to his house and do something. I'm not going to say beat him up because I'm not violent yet. But, you know, it's just ridiculous because I don't know why they can't accept that Bentley is smart enough to understand what's going on, that Bentley is smart enough to notice that Ryan has not been a good dad to him. Bentley knows he's not an idiot. And if I was Macy, I would be offended that they think Bentley's so dumb, you know? So, no, Bentley sees what's going on, and Bentley's making these decisions on his own. And when they first, like a couple episodes ago, when they were asking Bentley, do you want to go to the party? And they were doing this on, you know, it was being recorded. I thought that's a bad idea to record him asking him because it kind of puts him on the spot. And he may feel like, oh, God, you know, I'm going to make my dad mad. So maybe they shouldn't do that. But then after thinking about it, I thought, well, maybe it's good that they do. Because it shows that that Macy is saying, what do you want to do, Bentley? Do you want to go to this party? If you do, you can go. And it's showing that it's Bentley saying, not really. It would be weird for me. I don't want to go to my dad's house. I haven't spoke to him. So I don't want to go over there and it'd be awkward. So it's showing them that this is Bentley making these decisions. And they still want to blame stuff. Like, what is he being lied about? If I was Macy, that's what I would have to say. Like, what is he being, like, who's lying to him? And about what? So I think Macy has remained as classy as you can. Now, Macy's not perfect. None of us are. You know, there's things that Macy has done that I don't necessarily agree with. But when it comes to Edwards, McKinney's, I'm over here like all day, every day. AJ says, I miss Bentley being really close with his grandparents. That was so special, and he don't go over there as often due to his father's presence. Exactly. And I think another thing that probably really done it in for Bentley is when Larry told Bentley, if you think I'm going to give up on my son, my only son, you're out of your mind. Larry told us that he told Bentley that. And I can only imagine that it probably made Bentley feel beneath Ryan. You know, Bentley probably felt like, wow, so I come after Ryan, even though after all the stuff that Ryan has done, Ryan has hurt you guys. You know, he's made you guys cry. You guys have fought with him. And all I am is an innocent child that didn't ask to be brought into this world, you know, and I'm your grandchild, your first grandchild. But you're telling, first off, I don't think Bentley ever asked anyone to give up on Ryan. Bentley has not given up on Ryan. That's why Bentley wanted counseling. Bentley has not given up on Ryan. Bentley has never said, I'm done with my dad. He actually was like, I just don't want to see him until we go to counseling so we can work on our relationship. Now, a 12-year-old saying, I want to go to counseling with my other parent to work on my relationship, does that sound like a child that's saying he's done? No, he's not. And I don't think he ever asked Larry to be done with Ryan. So I think Ryan making that comment to Bentley really, like Macy says, shot him in the foot, you know. I feel like Bentley is being the adult here, B Family says. Absolutely. Yes, BB. Larry chose a side when no one asked him to. I agree. I think Bentley is definitely wise beyond his years. I know I wouldn't have married a guy high on drugs for the first time and drunk the second time. I wouldn't have either. I do think in general, Bentley has had his life filmed and his personal life being public is traumatic enough. I agree. I can only imagine it can't be healthy for them to have their entire life. Like, how does it affect him at school? I went to school with a girl that had done commercials, and she had been on Broadway. She could sing really well. She had done a couple like Lifetime films, like little pieces, not really like big things. But a lot of people was jealous of her, and they were mean to her because of it, because she was different and because she was talented. A lot of girls and even guys were mean to her. So it just kind of makes me wonder how everything affects him. They talked to him about sex not too long ago. Are kids his age watching this, that's in his class, is his friends watching this and seeing that which they probably shouldn't be, but if I'm trying to think, if I was 12 years old and I went to school with someone that was on a show like Teen Mom and was famous, Bentley's famous, that's what it is. If I went to school with a famous person that was on a show, I'd probably try to watch it. I'd probably try to watch it. And then if I seen them having the sex talk the next day at school, I'd be like, your parents talk to you about the birds and the bee? I wouldn't pick on them about it, but not all kids are so nice. Some of them probably would. Toasted Network said her, Janelle, and Barb are going to court this April. I will find out. If you have any, info that can help me with that, send it to me. But I will definitely find out. He is 4 years younger than his mom when she got preggo. Yeah. I think he's a cool kid. Well, so I want to know if you're Team Macy or Team Ryan Edwards. Do a hashtag which one you are. And then I want to hear y'all's thoughts on if you agree with Macy finally putting her foot down and saying, I'm not filming with them. Like, I'm done. I want to hear what y'all's thoughts are. Team Macy, Team Macy, Team Macy, Team Macy. I don't think Ryan or his parents go to any of Bentley's school functions. Roxanne, that's what Macy was saying. Macy was like, when Mackenzie was on the show, calling Macy out, saying like, oh, I don't want your parents talking to the press. I don't want that to give her a reason to not let you see Bentley. And TT's put Team Keeper. And and Ryan was like, she don't need a reason. She does it anyways. She always picks everything that she can, like every reason she can, to keep me from seeing Bentley, to keep Bentley from coming here. Someone said Team Bentley. Yeah, I see the reason why I can be Team Macy. I'm really Team Bentley too. I get what you're saying there, but I feel like Macy will always have Bentley's. I forgot the what I'm trying to say here. She will always put Bentley first for the most part, because when you really think about it, like Macy said on one of the last episodes, when she found out that Larry was speaking to the press, and here, this is what you got to think. Larry spoke to the press. Why? Why did Larry speak to the press? He told Jen, oh, I'm just nice. They call all the time, and I can't tell them that I ain't got nothing to say. And Jen's like, that's what I tell them. I tell them all the time. I ain't got nothing to say. I think that Larry spoke to them because they was not getting to see Bentley as much as they wanted. I actually thought about that, Candy. I'm going to reach out to Keeper and see if I can get him on. I actually thought about that today, though. But I think they were not getting Bentley the way that they wanted. Even though he had gone over there a couple of times, it was not like how he used to go over there. And Bentley was asking for counseling. And Bentley was saying, I'm not going to my dad's, and I'm not going to, I'm not going over there to my dad's house until we go to counseling. So I think Larry was aggravated with that, and that was his way of putting it out there, like, oh, Macy's not letting us get Bentley. So he done it because he was aggravated and a little mad at Macy. That's why, right? But you got to think about it. What if Macy spoke to the press every time she got mad at Ryan or his people? And Macy said, if I was to speak to the press, I could tell them so much crap about the Edwardses that they would never want to leave their house. They would be so embarrassed. I'm sure she could. I'm sure Macy has enough information on Ryan and his family that it would embarrass them to no end, to where they would never want to be seen again, that they would just retreat, and be like, I'm done. But she's never done that. So while there's been times that she's kind of, let her emotions get the best of her, I think for the most part, she's done well at maintaining her class and just doing what's best for Bentley. Whenever Larry spoke out to the son the first time on the show, Taylor asked her, well, what do you want to do about this? And she said, I'm not doing nothing. I want to, but I'm not going to affect my child's relationship with his other family just because of my feelings. So I'm just going to put it to the side. That's it. I'm just going to put it to the side. When probably if it was me, I would have called somebody too. I would have called the son back and be like, hey, let me tell you what I know. Blah, 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 screenshot, here's a screenshot. Put that on your little website. And then I would dare Larry to speak again. And every time Larry spoke, I would be like, I will go even further. What's that saying? They go low, we go high. You go low, I'll go lower. Like that. I mean, it really got to take some restraint to not do that, and she's had a lot of restraint. So I have to applaud her on that because I don't think everybody could. I think a lot of people would be like, oh, heck no, I'm gonna talk too. Yes. You know what? When Jen was telling him that he shouldn't talk to the press, you could tell he was like, he was mad about it. But I wonder, this is what I wonder, because first off, that was not the first time that he had spoken to the son, and it was not the last. He spoke to the son 3 more times, in the weeks after that, and then he spoke to him this time. So I'm wondering if maybe they filmed that scene where Jen is saying, don't talk to them. And then maybe later on, she was probably like, whatever. That way, at least it could look like she was at least saying, don't do it. That way if Macy come back and said something, she could be like, well, I told him not to do it anymore. Yes, since he first talked to the son and said that we're not getting to see Bentley, he spoke to them 3 more times. Yeah, so that's why I think maybe that was filmed, her telling him that, and maybe later on she was like, look, I just wanted to say that on camera so they could put it on the show. That way if Macy gets mad, I can say, I told him not to do it. But I really think she probably don't care as much as she made it out. She's letting them make their bed, lay in it. Yep. Oh, you can tell. Larry, he gets angry. You can tell. And I feel like we're really going to see that in the reunion. What will they all do for money? I don't know, because I'm like, does Larry have a job? Is he retired? Larry. Oh my gosh, you guys, I watched the part of the shooting. I cried. I'm not gonna lie, I cried. They acted like a black number or change a number isn't a thing. You don't have exactly. Let me read that. They act like blocking a number or changing a number isn't a thing. You don't have to answer the call. Exactly. When somebody from the Sun calls you, block the number. It's that easy. I think Larry spoke to the Sun to get under Macy's skin. That's what I think. Okay, Larry. Ryan was a diesel mechanic way back when. Larry works for Coca-Cola, I believe. And as far as Jen, I'm not sure if she ever worked, but she either owns or co-owns or sold that house Ryan used to live in, so that would be an income. This is on Reddit, though. I don't really know how to work Reddit, so let me get out of there. Do not know how to work Reddit. Yeah, Ryan was a diesel mechanic way back when. I don't think Ryan has had an actual job in years. Let's see. When was this posted? What's today? Oh, this article says that Mackenzie actually spoke out about the firing. It says on Wednesday, it was reported that Teen Mom OG star Ryan Edwards and his wife Mackenzie and their parents, Larry and Jen, were fired from the MTV series. In light of that news, Mackenzie spoke, never mind, to someone that we don't mention here. Well, we do mention her. Spoke to KJ. You know, the only person, these are two people that, one and the same. Mackenzie claimed that Edward's ex, Maci Bookout, got them fired from the Teen Mom OG show so that the show could feature more of her own storyline. When asked what led to the firing, Mackenzie said nothing happened, literally nothing. Liar. See, if Mackenzie was to come on my show and I'd be like, so what happened? If she said nothing, I'd be like, girl, nothing. We've been watching what's happening. Like, you call her names, Ryan talks bad about her, and then, like, Macy was just going off on Twitter the other day because of all the crap you've been saying about her. Then at the reunion, Larry and Taylor almost fist fought. Like, nothing. What are you talking about? We just got a call yesterday from Morgan and Larry at MTV, and Macy's agent went above their heads and went to Viacom. She went on to claim that Macy's agent said that they wanted to focus on all of Macy's abilities and her whatever she does, and that we took up too much time. We took up too much time on the show that she could be using to show all of that. So there Mackenzie is, and whatever she does. Mackenzie was asked whether there was a specific incident that led to Bookout's supposed request, to which she said, Jen and Larry got fired, we got fired. They said that when she didn't fulfill her obligations or like basically didn't have enough content, they would call us back. Then she said, when asked how Ryan responded to the situation, when asked how Ryan responded to the situation, Mackenzie said that Ryan was just like, we're going to move on. We're going to live our lives. We're going to do our jobs and, have a normal life. Like, don't waste your time or your breath coming back. The interviewer then asked whether there was an ulterior motive behind the firing. What do you think? What do you mean an ulterior motive? Macy's tired of being trash talked on the show. Like, what are you talking about? An ulterior motive. Mackenzie claimed that she spoke to two of the Teen Mom OG producers who said that they could read between the lines about the situation. She said that the producers believed that it was more of an anger thing and a retaliation type deal over Jen and Larry and Taylor getting into it. Mackenzie added that it seemed to be more of an anger, I'm going to show you who's boss type of deal. Based on what the interviewer gathered from the situation, the Edwards family will appear on one episode of the Teen Mom OG's next season. However, they will no longer appear on the show after that. Just as Mackenzie referenced in the interview, the news comes shortly after it was reported that Jen, Larry, and Bookout's husband Taylor got into a heated argument while filming the reunion. During the reunion, McKinney reportedly criticized Jen and Larry for defending Ryan's behavior, which has included threatening his wife and his wife's lives. A source from the Ashley Reality Roundup said that McKinney told them that Ryan was a piece of crap, and that he, unlike Ryan, has been there for Bentley for a long time. He told Larry and Jen that Ryan should be more like he is. McKinney reportedly even asked Larry if he wanted to take things outside at one point, but the two did not get physical during the filming. Okay, so it looks like Katie Joy got her little interview. It says on Without a Crystal Ball's podcast. Does she have a podcast? Does Without a Crystal Ball have a podcast? I don't think so. So Without a Crystal Ball got her little interview with Mackenzie, where she clearly does not hold Mackenzie accountable and ask her real questions. Like, was there an ulterior motive? What do you mean? An ulterior motive. Macy's tired of the BS. Macy's tired of the BS. And Macy done what she could do. And if I was Macy, I would have done that way back when. Yeah, it makes no sense to me how anyone can really be like, I get it, some people don't care for Macy, and you know, people's like, Macy's always got a beer in her hand, and I see that too. But when it just comes down to her being a parent to Bentley and her trying to set her feelings to the side to so she don't flip out and do something that's going to cause a big issue for Bentley with his other side of the family, she's done a great job with that. Whereas Ryan, he's not been a dad, and he don't hold back any. Like, when Ryan gets mad, he'll do whatever. He'll say whatever, you know. Ryan never thinks, how is this going to affect my relationship with my son? He just acts. So I don't understand. If I had Mackenzie on my channel, I would say, like, do you guys realize what Macy has done for Bentley? Like, she has been a good mom. So why do you guys feel like you can sit on that TV show and say these things? You can't. I mean, you can, but that's why you're not very popular. And every time someone is talking about y'all, they are literally going off about it, you know? He might smoke some weed. Typical KJ. She has been kissing Mackenzie's butthole for a long time. Let me tell you something. There's nobody's butt I'm gonna kiss just for a video. No way, Jose. I'm not gonna kiss anybody's butt for a no. Let's see. He has talked about Bentley on camera in a very disparaging way. Why would Bentley be upset with his dad when he doesn't even spend time with him? Yeah. Mac seems like the type of person who could be completely fine with Bentley being completely out of the picture. I agree. I agree. If it wasn't for Macy being on the show, Ryan would have been paying child support of the yin yang oh, I'm like yin yang of the youngin. I wonder if he does pay child support. Does anyone know if Ryan Edwards pays child support? Gray hair comes from stuff worse than pot. Ryan is how old now? And he looks like he's in his late 50s with his hair. Ryan just wants Bentley there, not to spend time with him. Just spite my, yep, I agree. I know that. You don't stoop as low as that. No, I'm not just going to kiss someone's butt so they'll come on my channel. Here's the thing. Like, if you're going to come on my channel, because I tried to get Amber Portwood on my channel one time. And when I messaged her, I was like, look, I would love to have you on my channel. But if you came, I would obviously have to ask you some hard questions. Like, I couldn't just bring you on my channel and be like, you've done nothing wrong. You know, I would have to be like, so, the night you got arrested, you know, like, what was going through your mind? Like, why did you feel it was okay to blah, 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 blah. While I don't believe the whole story we were given, you know, we've heard audios and we've heard the way that Amber has talked to Andrew, and I think that is disgusting. And I would say that, like, I would have to be like, you know, are you getting help? Because it's not okay to talk to another human being this way. Like, have you found an outlet so you don't snap on people and talk to them that way? Yeah, Amber lost her dog, and that was sad. At Elle, my sincere opinion is that Mac feels or knows she will always be number 2, and that Macy has a lot of respect and integrity but can't swallow it. She's scorned. Yeah, I agree. Ryan very well could be sober, and his counselors have prescribed him some type of opiates. See, somewhat, like, people have seen, like, maybe methadone, Suboxone, and something like that. But with methadone and Suboxone, have you looking the way he looks and just not caring about the way you even appear? And the reason why I think maybe he's relapsed and he's not sober is because, like, we don't know of him going to NA classes. I just scratched right beside my boob. Yes, I did. I'm sorry. Sonny is asleep, you guys. He was asleep up there a while ago. Jada says, no, I'm on Suboxone, because I've seen people say that. Like, 90% of the people say, you know, I'm a recovering addict, and he's not sober. There's been a couple people that'll say, you know, maybe he's on some, you know, what do they call them? Maintenance? No, it's not maintenance, is it? Maybe he's on something like methadone or Subutex or something like that. But I'm like, if he was on that, would he look zoned out like he does sometimes? I also noticed on this episode, he was holding Stella and he was eating something. And at one point it showed his thumb. And his thumb looked, I don't know if it was bruised or burnt. Did you guys see that? I mean, I didn't pause it and zoom in or anything. I did rewind it and play it again just to see if that's what I really saw. Like if I really was seeing a thumb that was discolored a little bit. And it was, but I couldn't tell if it was bruised or burnt. And I do know that if people have burnt fingers, it can be from, what is that, like smoking stuff out of a pipe. Because I know someone that happened to. Their fingers would be burnt and they were always coming up with an excuse of why their fingers were burnt. You don't miss a trick. You don't miss a trick. I worked in jails with guys on meds to get off hard stuff. He is ongoing in his addiction. Probably black tar heroin. Oh. But even if his dose was too high, he could eventually level out. But he could be on it and mixing other substances. I just don't see Ryan trying hard enough to make me even believe that he would be sober on any kind of medication. Like, I don't see him trying hard enough. And I hate that. Because not only does he have Bentley, but he has 2 other children now. That unless Mackenzie gets her feel of it and she leaves him, they're going to grow up in the home. Like, in the home with him. And we see him holding his dog more than we see him holding his kids. You know, it literally, it feels like he cares more about his dog than his children. Like, you'll see him with the dog just... But his kids, if he's looking at them, it's just very blank. Like... So, I don't know. I hope for all of his children's sake. And even his mom and his dad. You know, when I think about Jen and Larry, I think to myself, what would I do if this was my kid? Like, how would I? And I just have to believe that I would not enable them. Like, enabling him is going to lead Ryan to jail or to the cemetery. Like, so and that would be the biggest way that I would try to keep myself from, because I'm one of those type of mom. I do coddle a lot, and Sean gets on to me about it a lot. Sean was actually talking to one of our boys last night because Caden was talking about playing football. And Caden was like, I don't know, like, sometimes my friends will be like, oh, you can't do it. You ain't going to play football this year. You ain't tough enough to do it. But Sean's like, but they're doing that to push you to do it, you know. He's like, that's how men are, you know. He's like, when you go to the military, them drill sergeants, they ain't calling you saying, oh, you can do it, you know. That's what they'll do. They'll get in your head and make you think you can't. That way you will, just to show them. And Sean said, ain't nobody going to coddle you to try to get you to be successful. And I was like, he said me, because I'm very much one of those moms that's like, you got it, baby. You can do anything, you know. Oh, you can do whatever you want to do, baby. Like, I'm very much one of those moms, but sometimes I find myself having to reel that in, because being that type of mom, I think, can lead to kids like Ryan, probably, you know. And I think that's how Jen was, and Jen still is. I think Jen still, and Larry now too. I think Ryan has manipulated Larry to be that way as well, because Larry used to not be that bad. Like, Larry, there's been several times that Larry would be done with Ryan. On one reunion, Larry told Dr. Drew that he was done with Ryan, that he wouldn't spit on him if he was on fire. You guys remember that reunion? And it had to do with Ryan being on drugs. But now he's like, we're sorry, Ryan. We're sorry. We're not going to do anything that can be a trigger. We're sorry. We got you. You know? And Ryan's just over there like, I can do whatever I want. They're not going to tell me nothing now, because if they do, I'll yell, you're triggering me. You're triggering me. If I get back on drugs, it's your fault. While he's probably still on drugs. The Edwards, including Macy, better stay on guard because Ryan is going to spiral faster when the MTV money leaves. Yep, you're probably right. Ryan never had structure, no chores as a child, and he ran the house. I bet your bottom dollar that is 100% correct. His room was always clean. His food was always made. He always got what kind of food he wanted, probably. I feel like his mom probably catered to him. 100% Jen has manipulated Larry to be an enabler as well. Yep. Other than Jen and Larry, are there any other grandparents on the show as often as they are? Not sure why they're... Babe, be careful because the camera shakes really bad on here. Can you give me a quick rundown? I just hopped on. Yes, I can give you a quick rundown. So what happened was that Macy has decided that she was not going to film the show anymore if Ryan and his family was still on it. Are you okay? So the producers with the production called Jen and Larry and Mackenzie and Ryan. They had them on like a conference call, and they basically told them, look, Macy's agents reached out to us, and they said that Macy will basically leave the show if we keep you guys on it, because she does not want to be on the show if it's going to be centered around anything other than what she's really got going on. Like, she wants the show to focus on her family and her abilities to, you know, like, she has a business and they do other stuff. Like, I think Ryan is just a very tiny part of their life, but that's all the show wants to focus on. So Macy's tired of it, and Macy's like, I don't want to do that anymore. So production told them, we're not going to be filming you guys anymore unless we need to. Like, we're going to sit you guys to the side. We're not officially firing you guys. We're going to sit you guys to the side. And if for some reason something comes up and we need to film y'all, we will. But for the most part, we're probably not. We're going to film Macy and just what she's got going on outside of y'all. Well, Larry and Ryan was like, nope, if we're not going to do what we used to do and how we used to do it, if y'all are only going to bring us in every once in a while, just be done with it. Don't even bother coming back. So they were kind of fired, kind of quit, whatever you want to call it. And I think production, I said this earlier, I think what production was doing is they did not want to officially fire them because they wanted to keep them on the sidelines in case something crazy does happen. They can run over there and start filming. Say Ryan gets arrested, or say Bentley decides that he wants to go to Ryan's house, or whatever that situation, you know, whatever. Any situation that may come up with Ryan and his family that they know could be great for TV and be great for the show, they wouldn't be fired, so they could run over there and film them if they wanted to. Let's see. What I thought you said MTV fired Ryan. Well, basically what they done, they're fired now. Larry spoke out to the Sun, and he said we were fired, that they fired us. It was unbelievable. But from what a source with the Ashley said, is they said, we're not going to be filming you guys anymore. We're done filming y'all for now. And if something comes up, you know, or if Macy, she don't have a good storyline with the stuff surrounding her life, then maybe we'll pick y'all up again and bring y'all in. And Larry and Ryan was like, no, never mind, you know. So I guess you can kind of say MTV didn't want to officially fire them. That way they could still have a little bit of access to them. And maybe they didn't want to fire them to avoid like any legal situation that maybe that could make, I don't know. Telling Larry to only talk to the press if they offer money now. We don't know if Macy can be entertaining enough on her own because they always focus on Ryan's. Yep. Do you think these moms buy their home up front with cash? I've heard that some of them have. I don't think all of them do. but I've heard that some of them have. I think Macy makes like $400K a season. Hopefully she's been saving money for that home. Let's see. I heard that it was a little bit more than that. And Taylor makes a good bit too. I'm going to look up their salary. I actually was going to do a video on what the Teen Mom girls make. Okay, so the Maci Bookout has a net worth of $3 million. Fans are definitely wondering what her salary of Teen Mom has been, and it sounds like it's been pretty high. According to Cheat Sheet, the cast members are given $1,000 when they... According to Cheat Sheet, the cast members are given $1,000 when they are reunion episodes? When they are at reunion episodes? I'm confused by that. So the cast salary back in 2017 was $325,000 per season, which was $25,000 per episode. Let me click on this link and see if it gives us any more information. So this was in 2020. Okay, let's see. What is it now? Okay, $500,000. Yeah. Now Macy's salary each season is $500,000. That's what it says on the things, which was published July 26, 2020. Hey, Joe Cool, how are you? Hey, Monica. Yes, Brianna does the OnlyFans, and she made $10K in 1 week. I wonder how much Macy makes. I mean, not Macy, Taylor. I doubt he makes $500K, but I bet he makes a couple $100,000. I bet he makes probably at least $325, probably $250. I don't know. I want to say that Macy actually spoke to producers to get Taylor a raise a couple years back. Macy done it. Amber done that for Gary at one point and for Andrew. Probably for Matt as well. They are really big in making sure their men get a close amount to them as well. Let's see, who else? Kate and Tyler make the same amount of money, which is around the $500K. Like the OGs, the actual OGs, Macy, who else was it? Macy, Caitlin and Tyler. Who are the actual OGs of Teen Mom OG? Amber. So the actual OGs, they make like $500K. So Caitlin and Tyler both make around $500K. I remember reading that somewhere that Tyler makes the same amount as Kate does. So they're making $1 million, per season, which is crazy. All right, we're going to talk for a little bit, and then I'm going to get off because it's 10 o'clock. Sean just got up to, he went to sleep, the babies, and he's getting up to do some schoolwork. And I have my part 3 episode to my KJ series that I was hoping I would get uploaded today, but I didn't. Aren't they in debt, though? They do owe, Caitlin and Tyler owe taxes, but it's not as serious as what a certain person made it out to be. They're on a payment plan, from what I understand, to get it paid off. And they probably paid it off already, honestly. But I do think that I think what happened was, okay, so when I was friends with Matt, what he told me was that, with Amber, she was young when she started making a lot of money, and she didn't understand, the aspect of paying taxes. She didn't even really understand, she didn't even know nothing. So Amber did not have any good guidance. Nobody told her to even file taxes. So Amber, from what I gather, went a few years without filing taxes. Andrew kind of verified this as well later on by saying that he got a friend of his to file Amber's taxes, and it was a few years worth of taxes that she had not filed, and that Amber did not thank him, and he done it for free. And then like a couple days later, Andrew wanted to go meet up with this buddy and like have drinks or something, and Amber refused. So Andrew was kind of like aggravated about that. But yeah, so Matt has said, like, you know, these people, they're young when they start making this money. They don't understand that they need to pay these taxes, that they need to probably pay quarterly versus, you know, just waiting until the end of the year and having to owe this large lump sum. So I think that's what has happened. I don't think, so Macy and Taylor, I don't think they owe any taxes. Caitlin and Tyler, they got hit with the tax lien a while back. Who else? Amber owes taxes. I don't remember who else it was. I wonder if Larry got paid to talk to the son. Probably. I feel like it. I feel like it probably did. I mean, how much are you going to pay Larry for? I mean, you know, he answered like 5 questions. How much, like, when I was thinking about bringing Kiefer on, I was like, maybe if I'm like, hey, I'll pay you $100 to do an interview. But it's like, do we do that as I don't know. I probably never would, because I just wouldn't ever want to say, like, I had to pay somebody to come on my channel. Like, I would like to have people come on my channel because they want to come here, not because I paid them money. A lot going on in Georgia right now, but we're hanging in there. Oh my gosh, y'all, the shootings have been terrible. Yeah, but they will pay big money to the right person. Maybe so, yeah. The shooting has been another thing. Watching Macy live through that situation, I cried, you guys. Like, when I was watching her part of the show, and it showed, you know, it says that she's leaving. We see her Jeep on the road. She's going to get Bentley from where was he at? Practice. He was at some sort of practice. And then next thing you know, we see the producers at the house, and they're telling us that that Taylor had to hurry up and leave, and they didn't know if he was going to go into where Macy was, or if he was going to get Bentley. But either way, Macy was at a store when someone started opening fire. I cried. I was literally trying to put my makeup on, and I was like, because it's so sad. So Macy's in the store. Someone opens fire. She knows that someone's shooting, but she does not know where they're shooting at. If they're inside, outside, she don't know. So she runs to the bathroom and locks herself in the bathroom, and she calls Taylor. And whatever she said to Taylor, it was something quick, because she said the call was 8 seconds. Probably, you have to imagine that she was scared. Even, you know, on the phone with Taylor, she was probably scared that somebody would hear her in there, that the gunman could hear her in there. So the call was like 8 seconds. She said she called Taylor over 911 because she did not know if she would survive. So I feel like she called him to be like, I love you, tell my kids I love them. I don't know what's going to happen. And probably hung up to keep from being hurt in the bathroom. And I want to say it was like a targeted attack, that gunman was looking for a certain individual. But you just got to think, what if, a lot of times when there's a shooting, the shooter's thoughts, unfortunately, and this is so terrible, but the shooter's thought is to kill as many people as they can. So they go through the building they're in, even going to the bathrooms to see if anybody's hiding in the bathroom, you know, and shooting up the bathrooms and just going by to get as many people as possible, you know. So if the gunman had a person he was looking for, that may have been the only thing that saved Macy, was that he just went in there looking for that one person, shot around. Someone did die. There was a cop behind Macy's truck shooting back at the suspect. Was it the cop that died? Seems like it was the cop that had died. Let's see. The suspect died. Okay. It says Macy was at a gas station and a shootout started. I didn't think I was going to survive, Macy says during a confessional. I literally thought I was going to die. She adds during a discussion with her husband Taylor. Less than 2 weeks later, she shared a poem about bravery by Lena someone, Raffaella. I think it's brave that you get up in the morning, even if your soul is weary and your bones ache for a rest. I think it's brave that you keep on living, even if you don't know how to anymore. I think it's brave that you push away the waves rolling in every day and you decide to fight yet again. I know there are days when you feel like giving up, but I think it's brave that you never do. A police officer fatally shot the suspect. The incident started after police responded to a car crash around 5 p.m. When the officer arrived at the scene, the person involved, later identified as 27-year-old Brandon Keith Davis, ran away. The officer caught up with him at a gas station where Davis took out a weapon and fired 3 shots. The officer fired back, fatally shooting Davis. No one else was hurt. This is another example of a Chattanooga police officer that was placed at risk doing their job, and they responded heroically. They put themselves in danger. Unfortunately, we have a tragedy at the end of it, but it demonstrates what these men and women are willing to do every single day for the citizens of Chattanooga. So it looked like probably there's a wreck. The cops come, he runs, probably because he didn't have a license, maybe had drugs on him, something to that effect. I really don't want to speculate too much, but just kind of thinking it out. This guy probably wasn't in there actively shooting to kill someone. He was probably took the weapon out. I try to kill the cop. So Macy was, I don't want to say lucky, because she wasn't lucky to be involved in that because she was scared for her life. But if it would have been an active shooter looking to kill as many people as possible, she may not have made it. And at that point, she did not know that. Like, she did not know if this was an active shooter just trying to kill as many people as possible. I agree. Let me see who it's from.
Where did the guy go? Did you ever figure that out?
Huh?
Did you ever figure out where the guy went?
What guy?
Her husband?
Whose husband?
Did he go to get her or the kid?
Oh, I don't know. No, I don't know.
Oh.
It's called Heavy. Heavy, period. Heavy. And it was, when was this? It was updated March 18th, 2021. By Maria Voltago. But yeah, she did do a good job making sure. There was just a shooting in Georgia the other day, which is where Candy lives. Candy, you're like an hour from there, you said? And then Colorado. It's just so...
There's like 6 people from Georgia in your chat right now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I think Macy should... You know what? That got me thinking, too. God forbid, what if something was to happen to Macy? If something was to happen to Macy, Ryan would legally get Bentley. So if I was Macy, I would write a wheel up or something. I don't know. I would just go to Ryan and be like, can we please? Like, you can still work on your relationship with Bentley if that's what he wants, but can Taylor please adopt him? Because I would... Honestly, I mean, I don't know if Ryan would want him. You know, he would take him and then let him move in with Jen and Larry. And then Taylor would be... They probably would never let Bentley see Taylor again. Baby, what are you cooking?
Nothing.
Why are the moderators having irrelevant conversations? I haven't seen any conversations that were irrelevant. Talking about where they live, I asked one of my moderators. I'm in Georgia, Willow. We're talking about an incident that happened in Georgia the other day, so I don't know. But I don't really, my chat, sometimes the people involved, like, there can be one person having a full-blown conversation with someone else that's not really relevant. They can go off on different conversations, and that's fine with me. I'm not one of those people that's like, stay on topic. Not really.
Yeah, we were talking about food and where people live and all kind of stuff a while ago.
Let's see. I hope Taylor is able to have rights. Like, dang. Yeah, I just can't even imagine. I can't even imagine, like, thinking about if something was to happen to Macy and then Bentley going to Ryan, which is where he would go. I thought we were talking about candy when we were talking about candy, but this is a free chat. Candy's name is Candy. At 14, Bentley can live with who he wants to live with. So he has 2 more years, I guess, to where he could choose. It's our ADHD, sorry. Aren't you guys mods and now you're attacking and disrespecting me? Well, the mods are still guests in the chat, too. Like, my mods are allowed to conversate. The mod's job is not just to be mods and telling someone, you can't say that, don't say that, this is your warning, and blocking people or deleting people. No, mods are welcome here just as much as anybody else to have whatever conversation they want to have. And we don't want to, we don't want to be disrespectful to anyone, but I don't know, coming in and saying, like, your mods are having conversation that's off topic, that's kind of what we do here. We don't stay on topic. We literally go from one topic to the next. So if you felt like someone was attacking you, I apologize. That's definitely not what we're trying to do. Maybe so, B family. That's the thing too. S is there. We do get a lot of trolls that come in that just like to say rude things. So I think a lot of time we don't have it that often, but we'll have it every once in a while. So sometimes we kind of get on the defense with it, and be like, "Oh, who's that?" So your mods are a joke and no one can troll but them. You're going to get blocked for that because my mods are not a joke and no one's trolling, not them or anybody. So, bye-bye. Sorry. I tried to be very nice to you and apologize if you felt like you were being attacked, but you're not going to call my mods a troll. These shootings are scary. Everyone, please stay safe. Absolutely. I asked Sean because me and Sean was talking about it, and I was like, we don't know where he went. Like, when Taylor left, we don't know if he went to the store to where Macy was at or if he went to go get Bentley. And I'm like, he probably needed to go get Bentley or his mom to show up, and his mom's not there, So I would imagine Taylor went to get Bentley first, and I also said, because surely he wouldn't go to the store thinking, like, there's an active shooter there, I'm going to go to the store, He did come back with her, but I have a feeling Bentley must have been in the vehicle too, because somebody had to go get Bentley, right? So I think he probably went and got both of them, but I don't know where he went first. So I asked Sean, I said, what would you do?
I want to know. Like, I'm really curious.
And Sean was like, I would have went to that store. And I was like, so you would have, I was like, if I would have called you from a bathroom saying, there's a shootout going on, I don't know if I'm going to live, I love you guys, tell my kids I love them, please take care of my kids, and hung up, because the call was only 8 seconds. Kelly Brown, hi all, first time here. Kelly Brown, hey Kelly, I have a friend named Kelly Brown that is usually always in the chat, so congratulations. Welcome. But I was like, where would you go? And he was like, I would absolutely go to that store. He was like, I would grab my vest, I would grab my gun, and I would head to that store. Which I kind of already knew that answer. I already knew that he would come to the store.
Like, if that ever does happen, like, you just need to tell me what gas station. Don't call and be like, I'm at a gas station, people are shooting. Like, tell me where you're at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I can take off.
I'm from England and I love Macy. I'm from the States and I love Macy too. Her husband should. Yeah, I definitely. Sean was like, I would grab my, because Sean has a bulletproof vest. And he would have put that vest on, got his gun, and headed out, like headed to me. Babe, what did you cook?
I'm making one.
Thank you. They can have it right. Yeah. Taylor should adopt Macy's son, Bentley. I wonder what it would take for that to happen. Because I know here where I live, I wanted Sean to adopt Paris and Caden at one point. And I talked with someone about it. And I was told that their biological dad had to go. How long was it, babe? With no contact?
What is it?
How long did they say that
Oh, I don't remember.
that their real dad would have to go so long?
Oh, that was a long time though.
Maybe like a
Brandon
year?
went?
Like a year maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, it was a long time. Like, no contact at all though.
Candy said like 4 months. I think here it was a little bit longer because I remember thinking, well, God, he'll go 6 months and not talk to him, but then, pop up at the house to say, hey, you know. So it aggravated me that it was that long. Maybe probably Louisiana got different laws, and we could get him for abandonment. That's what we could have done. We could have said, "Thank you, Joe. Thank you so much. I love Joe. Always comes in here, and he's so positive and is always so nice. A year, no child support or contact." Yeah. So they said, yeah. This keyboard does not have the arrow down button. And I like the keyboard because it's small. It's like really small, so I like it. But it doesn't have the down arrow, which I use a lot. All right, let's see what this says. When you have a child, you can establish parentage on a basis of legal presumption and acknowledgement of parentage or by giving birth. However, there are certain circumstances in which parental rights can be taken away. One way is through abuse or neglect proceedings. Another way parental rights can be terminated is through abandonment. Abandonment has a specific legal definition and must be proven in court for parental rights to be terminated. State laws differ about what is needed for a parent to be deemed to have abandoned a child. Generally, there needs to be a period of time during which the parent does not have any contact with the child and does not pay child support. In most states, the period of time is 1 year, but it varies. Some states include a provision that the time period for abandonment begins once the biological father learns of the existence of the child. A skilled adoption attorney in your state can help you understand the state-specific laws that govern your case. Okay, so most states is a year, but some states are a little bit different. And this says, obviously, like, the father has to know that the child exists. Ryan is well aware. That's well documented. He's on drugs and alcoholic and was abusive to me, and he is borderline personality. Oh, Willow, I'm sorry. Mackenzie will probably divorce Ryan one day over his bad behavior. I don't see, when we see episodes with them where Mackenzie and Ryan are sitting there talking, or like at the birthday party, at Jagger's birthday party at Ryan's parents' house, and Ryan wasn't there, and Mackenzie was like taking pictures and stuff. I was like, that would aggravate me to no end. Like, if Sean was not at our kid's birthday party and he was like down in his bedroom doing whatever, I would like demand more. She does not demand anything from Ryan
You know what I like
at
about
all.
her?
Huh?
You know what I like about her though? I don't like her. I don't
Mackenzie?
like her at all. Yeah, but
What do you
from
like
I've
about her?
seen, I don't like her. I think she's ignorant for being this extreme about it. But she stands by her man. You know what I'm saying? And like in a lot of time, in a lot of relationships, like a woman that'll stand beside you like that just makes you that much better. But not in that relationship. That's the problem. It doesn't make him any better. You know what I'm saying?
It
But
makes him worse.
yeah, it does make him worse. She's to the point where it's enabling. But like you know how my grandma and everybody was.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
And
A lot of older, like in the older days, like a lot of women were very like stand by your man no matter what.
But like my grandpa, you know, she stood by him and made him quit drinking like he did,
Mm-hmm.
and like made him a better man because she stood by him through like some really crazy times of him drinking and staying drunk, you know. But then he become a good man because she stuck beside him, and she was the boss. I mean, don't get it wrong.
Yeah.
You didn't know from walking in
See,
the
I
house.
think that's the balance though. Is like you have these women that stand by their man and they do it to make them better.
Yeah, but they demand. They have a standard, like.
Yeah, exactly. The men have standards too though. Like they're not just these.
And a woman has a standard. She's not just, like my grandma had a standard. She wasn't gonna let him just
Mm-hmm.
come in sloppy drunk, and if he did, she was gonna leave him outside, you know.
Right.
And
Yeah. I think Macy would just be fine. Not Macy. Mackenzie. Mackenzie would. I remember the episode, the car driving episode, where he drove to the wedding, clearly under the influence of something, and she cut the cameras off, but the microphone was on, and she's like, "You took a Xanax?" And he's like, "No, I swear on my children's life." She already knew that he was under the influence of something, you know. Let me see. Did I freeze? I think I froze. Okay, no, I'm just frozen on my end. Okay, on my computer, I'm frozen. Okay. So she already knew that he had been taking something that was messing him up, right? But then at the reunion that year, she blames Macy. She's like, I didn't know. Macy, you knew for this many days, this many hours, this many minutes, and Ryan's life was, you know, hanging by a, like, you knew. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all your fault that Ryan did not get help because you knew and you chose not to tell anyone. And it's like, hold up, Ryan's parents, they've been knowing, and you knew too, dingbat, because you said it on the show. You said, did you take Xanax again? But literally that's what aggravated me. Like, I feel like Mackenzie does not take any accountability. Like, why was he taking a Xanax? Did he have them prescribed? If not, then you knew. You knew he was taking something that he shouldn't take. You knew that it made him out of his mind where he could not even drive a vehicle. But rather than saying, okay, I know this is going on. We got to get you help. I'm not going to stand for it. I have a child already that I'm not going to put my child through this. You know, rather than that, she's like, Macy knew and didn't tell nobody. If Macy would have been screaming it from the rooftops, then you guys would have been mad that she told y'all's little secret. Macy can never win with them, you know? So I'm glad that Macy's putting her foot down and Macy is saying, I'm not going to do this anymore where they are my storyline. I'm not going to provide them with a job pretty much, you know, because they're here because of me, only for them to constantly run their mouth about me and claim that I'm putting things in my son's head, that I'm curving my son's thoughts, that I'm a petty bitch, that I'm, no. I would have done it a while back probably. Yeah, he exposed himself and then tried to blame Macy. Yeah, it definitely doesn't always work out, but I know Leslie standing beside me made me so much better. She stood beside me, but when I was in trouble, when I done something stupid, you cracked me up. Thank you. I'm proud of Macy for standing up to herself. Me too. Me too. The cheese is melted to the plate. Mm-hmm.
episode. I don't think he was on. I don't think he took his Xanax. I'm sure he did some heroin. I don't know. Xanax knocks.
That's what said. If one Xanax made him that high, God help him.
But remember that when.
I don't think it did because he had been. Ryan had been an addict for years now. We just found out about it at that point.
Yeah.
But he had already been to rehab a couple times, I want to say.
Yeah, I'm sure he has a decent tolerance to Xanax.
Who's that girl that he dated? Her name started with a D. She was really pretty, brunette. What was her name? And she, like, done an interview a long time ago saying that was one of the reasons that she broke up with him was that he was an addict and that he went to rehab, but he still, like, Dallas, was her name Dallas? I think so. That, you know, he went to rehab, but come out and just went right back to doing drugs. So, and this was when Bentley was 3, 4. You always go live when I have to be up. Oh, I'm sorry, Amanda. I'm going to start going live at least, like, during the day. Okay, so I will be live Friday at 2 p.m. Central Time. Me and Wildflower Gypsy, we're going to be doing a collab soon. I tried to get in touch with her to do something. I was hoping we could go live Thursday, but she hasn't responded, so I'm waiting for her to respond back. We're going to, I know that we're going to collab. I just have to wait for her to get back with me to tell me when she can. But yeah, Sherelle Friday, Wildflower Gypsy coming up. I have a few more people that I want to reach out to see if we can do some work together because, I don't know, I kind of gave up on collabs a while back. I was kind of like, I'm not going to collab with anybody because the second I endorse someone and then they turn out to be a turd, then, you know, it's on me. But, you know, just because I'm doing a collab with somebody, it doesn't mean that I endorse everything that they're about or everything they do. Same with them and me. Just because they have me on their channel, they're not saying they agree with everything that I do. And it is good it's a good opportunity. Like, and Sherelle knows that. Sherelle's like, I want to help you grow your audience. So I want you to come on and talk about Mama June. And like with Wildflower Gypsy, I want to bring her on my channel because I have a few more subs than her. So if any of my subs can see her and be like, I like this girl, and then go sub to her, I would love that for her. I do want to start doing collabs with people. Catherine Golden, ex-girlfriend of Ryan Edwards, tells all about her time on Teen Mom. Maci Bookout, Ryan struggles with drugs. Oh, Catherine. I don't remember that one. That would be good to read that. Yeah, I heard of guys in jail getting their girlfriends to, okay, so there's this one drug that comes in strips, like little square strips. And what they would do is they would put, so the girlfriend would write her boyfriend a letter, and they would, and you know they look through the mail to make sure there's no drugs on them. So what they would do is they would put the strip under the, I think under the stamp, or they would put the stamp on and then lay it on top of the stamp. Somehow to get it crazy. Suboxone, that's what it was. Like, holy crap. That is crazy. And then one of my friends told me that she's seen more drugs in jail than outside of jail. Like, wild. Goodbye, Joe. Thank you for coming on. You're always so kind. Good night, Kelly. Thank you for coming on. See, you know, I don't doubt that maybe Macy, you know, maybe back in the day they were smoking weed. Maybe she smoked pot, whatever. But the second that, you know, Bentley came, she got it together. I'm about to get off too, you guys. It's 10:30. I have a meeting tomorrow at noon. at the school with some teachers, and then I have another meeting Friday at the school with the teachers at noon. But I'll be back by 2, so I'll be doing my collab with. I worked as a licensed substance abuse counselor. I know when someone is high. Who said that? Because I want to get their opinion on. Katie Q, what's your opinion on watching Ryan? Because like I said, I'm no expert. I don't claim to be one. I'm sure I get a lot of things wrong. Suboxone is a narcotic and heavily controlled. You can't send it in the mail. My husband is a pharmacist. You can't even get a script for more than 30 days, and you have to do monthly. No, I know a girl. She was sending someone that I know. She was putting it on the stamp somehow. It was those strips. She wasn't like just putting it in the, in the envelope. She was literally like somehow laying it on the stamp. I don't know. But I was like, you are going to get caught and you are going to go to jail. If Ryan is not on drugs, then he's just a brew bear, yeah. Which I do think he's that. And I pray and hope that he gets it together. He is definitely under the influence of something. I agree. That's why they rip the stamps off now before the inmates get it. Oh, so they done caught on to that. Suboxone films are thin and can be hidden under stamps. Yeah, this was years ago when I heard about it. And I was like, you are going to go to jail. I just need to say this. What would Amber really do if Gary brought her Leah and told her she's yours for the summer? How do you think she would handle that? I'm going to give you my 2 cents. 2 cents. I don't think she would. I think, and I don't like to talk down on people, but I think Amber can be a mom only in small intervals of time. Just like Andrew has said, Amber canceled multiple visits because of the weather. And then we saw on the show where Amber canceled doing Leah's makeup and teaching Leah how to put makeup on because of COVID. She thought she had COVID, but that's not what we saw. We saw her fine and well saying, oh, I just hadn't got my results back yet. But she told Leah, and because Gary and Christina was saying that she thought she had COVID and that she had symptoms. But then we saw her fine saying, well, I just didn't get the results back yet. So I don't know. She should have definitely rescheduled and been like, hey, babe, I haven't got. So either she lied or they kind of added to it to kind of cover for Amber. But I don't think Amber can be a mom every day. Unfortunately, and I hate to say that. It would be nice if she could, but Amber's more of an aunt, not a mother. And Ryan's more of an uncle, not a father. The way that it seems, It takes 4 to 5 days. It takes 4 days to get a COVID result. Amber's probably using 2. I don't think she's clean either. At least Macy shouldn't need scripted storyline discussing Ryan most of her scenes anymore. This has been well needed. Yeah. I agree. And I have to imagine that it's gotten old for Macy. I just found your channel and I was subject. I watched one of your videos where you addressed. Let me go back to over here and read that comment. When I see your name, I think Drew Brees. Where are you? Brew Bear. I don't know why I think Drew Brees. Where you are addressed with the Oh, I just found your channel, and off the subject, I watched one of the videos where you address what that Katie person did. Yeah. I have part 3 to that coming out soon. She really has this fake snippy thing going on when she's supposed to be crying. My son heard it and goes, "Oh my God, who is fake crying?" Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's always when something comes up, when she's getting a lot of heat. She goes on her channel crying about something. They all need to mature, but I love Macy. Me and Macy have had so many similar things happen. Same, Ashley, same. Literally, like, our stories are so identical, me and Macy. I got pregnant at 17. My baby daddy was a lot like Ryan, very in and out, showed not much interest in being a dad. We lived together for a little bit. I ended up having to come back home because it just, baby daddy went to rehab, come back, stayed sober for a while, but then his parents are just like Ryan's parents. And here's the thing, like, I was very close with my older kids' dad's parents. I mean, my older kids, like, when I was growing up, my dad was not around a lot, but I was with my older kid's dad. I was with his parents a lot, and they were like parents for me. His dad was like my dad, because my dad was not around. Megan O'Brien just found your channel today, and I'm addicted. Oh, thank you. We're talking a lot about addiction in this chat, but I'm glad that you can be addicted to my channel. So the way that Macy was close to Jen and Larry, I was close with my ex-in-laws, I guess you could call them. Even to the point to where they come to my wedding. When me and Sean got married, they were there. They were invited. We have pictures with them, And then as their son got worse and worse and worse, they chose the route of defending him, And I'm still, their grandpa passed away due to COVID in July of last year. And it was heartbreaking for me. I mean, I cried my eyes out with them. And, we talked to the grandma. Paris just turned 16 on the 23rd yesterday. And we're having her little party this weekend. And her grandma will be there. But so it's not to that point to where, like, we don't speak. Well, we went through points to where we didn't speak because they were so involved with defending their son, overseeing what was right. But at this point, their grandpa passed away, so his dad passed away, and his mom has kind of getting her feel of it, and she's kind of, talking to me a lot. So I just see so many similarities in Macy's story as to my story, which makes, so when people's like, I kind of get offended when people will say stuff about Macy, because I'm like, me and Macy are like one and the same almost, She's not perfect, and I don't agree with everything that she does, but I do have to give it to her. She's done a great job at trying not to react publicly. She has a lot of information that I'm sure that she could put out on social media that would embarrass that family, and she does not do it. I have to give promos to Gary for stepping up while Amber was locked up. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I'm much more entertaining than Macy. What? Really? She isn't perfect, but she's done a better job than all of them. I agree. She has self-control, yes. Suck it up, Buttercup. It's all new to me, and I find it interesting. Wait, what? The fact that all the absent families collectively steady income is being minimally involved is really seeking to be involved in fund. Wait, the fact that all of the absent family collectively steady income by being a minimally involved. Yes, I agree. Yep. I mean, I feel like probably the only reason Ryan has stuck around to the degree that he has is for the show. It's kind of like Sugar Bear with Honey Boo Boo. Sugar Bear has no part of Honey Boo Boo's life, Alana's life. People get mad when I call her Honey Boo Boo. They're like, she's too old to be called that. But Sugar Bear only comes around or has any role in Alana's life when they're filming, So, literally all of them irritate me. Devon, Kayla, Brianna, everybody. All Macy has done is ask Ryan to get it together. Any normal mother would do that for their child. Yep. Absolutely. I feel the same way. I take it personal when they talk about it. Yes. I feel like I'm her to some degree. Gary has stepped up Leah's whole life. Gary has done a fantastic job. Like, I couldn't even imagine, like, if I would have gotten locked up for some reason when Paris was a baby, like, my poor child, well, not my poor child, but my mom would have had to take her, because he wouldn't have. How do men do that to their kids? I have no idea. Right. Yeah, I like Chelsea a lot, too. Right, that's all that Macy ever did was ask him to get his ish together. Yep. Evil stepmama Jennifer. I know. So everybody that likes Mama June, I'm going to be on Sherelle's World Friday talking about Mama June, give you guys an update on what's going on with her life. My ex has been the same way to our kids, and I would have never ever guessed he would be like that. Same. I don't like Chelsea or her husband. I like them, but I know that everybody don't, you know. And we allow all opinions here. Her husband is sketchy. He's sketchy. It is wild how they're so similar. Like, he even has a baby voice. Like, did he have a baby voice, or did he meet her and she had a baby voice, so he started doing the baby voice? What time Friday? I will be on Sherelle's World at 2 p.m. Central Time, my time. I'll post about it again tomorrow and Thursday. Just to remind everybody, it'll be on my Instagram account and on my community tab. All right, you guys, I'm going to hop off. It is late, almost 11 o'clock here. I'm probably going to, I have my part 3 to the Katie video coming up. If it's not up tomorrow, it will go up for the members, the channel members and Patreon members first, for a few hours to them first. That's kind of one of the things that's been their thing, is like every time I do a part to this KJ series, it goes to them first, and then a few hours later, I make it public. So, you know, please don't comment and say, oh, we're only going to get to see that if we pay for it. I can't afford to pay for it. No. I have members that get perks, and their perks are getting access to some of my videos before everyone else, because that's just a perk, because they do pay money. But I love you all, and I will post it to everyone. So it'll be posted to my members first, and a few hours later to you guys. So don't worry about that. Have a good night, everyone. You are my favorite YouTuber right now. Oh, thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. Out of all the YouTubers, little old me, you guys are awesome. Yeah, but thank you guys. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. If you have not watched my video from earlier today, where I announced about what happened, or my Kiefer video, check that out. And make sure you give those videos thumbs up as well, because it's really been helping in the algorithm. I'm kind of getting back up there, and it's nice to see it. So thank you to everyone that watches my videos, thumbs up my videos. I could not tell you guys how much I appreciate it. I will see you guys maybe tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.